Little spider robot with little LED eyes, controlled by an infrared remote, or by a Raspberry Pi over UART, or over BLE from whatever application you design. Adorable. So Masahiro, the creator, sent us not only a completed MOMONGA robot that is working, but also the parts to build another one. So we're going to take a close look at those. And it's really exciting. This is clearly sort of the work of a true nerd who is really excited about servo motors and sort of teaching you to build your own. There's some really ingenious sort of mechanism stuff going on in here, and you'll kind of see about that in just a second. But first, let's turn it on. I was poking around. Well, okay, we'll get to that later. But like, what-do-do-do-do. It's so cute. Oh yeah, it can go down. It can go up. I need to actually point the thing at it in order to get it to do the things. It's so cute, and it can kind of walk, depending on like how you calibrate it and stuff. Anyway, as you can see, it gives you a little sort of emotional feedback through the LEDs. Ah! Whoa. This thing runs on an Atmega 328P, which is on the underside of the board here. In fact, I, being now old, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I'm 31, which is super old, right? You can see the Atmega chip on the bottom here. Look! Anyway, being old, I've broken out this loop thing, which actually makes my life way better. It's super great not having to squint at stuff quite so much. So then also on the bottom here, you see these connectors for the 4 motors. Those are these little DC guys, but it's got a whole little extra motor board that's this half-height PCB. Super cute. It's got a piezo buzzer on it for feedback, and 3 Hall effect sensors. Those are magnetic sensors, which help you tell where the motors are positioned, and where the legs are positioned. So this motor hooks into this gear here, and then this is a bit that sort of moves, like rotates and moves it up and down. Actually, this part doesn't really rotate. Compared to the gear, it rotates. And then this part at the top basically tells one of the Hall effect sensors how many rotations it's done, so where it is. And then this one is an additional feedback thingy, so it's got another little magnet in here that tells, it reaches either this one or that one. So these 3 sensors tell it where the legs are. And then you've got a little motor control device on here and an @tiny84, which is sort of hidden under the piezo there. Let's break out the loop again. This is so cool. It's just hiding under there. You see? Yeah, we see you. The LED is a little bright, huh? And again, the piezo buzzer here gives you a little sort of audio feedback mechanism. You can program the whole thing in Arduino. As I said, this is about to come to Crowd Supply, and you can actually subscribe for updates right now. It seems to have a couple little kinks to work out first. So right now the motor is attached through a little surface mount resistor here. And I had to resolder that once or twice on this guy. You can kind of see it poking out. Can you see that? There we are. There's the resistor and the motor soldered to it. So, it seems to have a little bit to work out yet, but it works pretty well, which is amazing. Yeah, it's all soldered in this REFLO oven that's also created by Magic Box Labs, so you can go to their Facebook page and see what their deal is. Let's take a look at this online. So it turns out that MOMONGA is not just the name of this robot, it's also the name of a character in One Piece. But that is not what you should Google. You should Google the MOMONGA robot. Palm-sized open source spider robot. You can sign up here on Crowd Supply, and I've put the link to that in this video. You can see GIFs of it moving and video as well. It seems like my video feedback is glitching out a bit again. It doesn't like using that much processor power, I guess. Anyway, really cool look at how the little worm gear kind of mechanism on the leg works. It's amazing how much detail is in this 3D print and how well it all goes together. So maybe make sure that you're really good and solid on your 3D printing before you attempt printing one of these, because it has to all snap together in this really cool little way. Breaks out the entire leg mechanism for you here. Super cool. And tells you about the features and specifications. If you want some more information on this, you can go to the Hackster page where there's already a project up for this. And here, Masahiro, the creator, goes in depth about what's so cool about it, which is the enjoyment of assembling servo motors themselves, including those parts printed by 3D printing, is exceptional. And I totally agree. The point of this seems to be to make a cool little functional robot, but especially one that sort of explores and celebrates the joy of actually creating a servo motor. In this case, it's a linear servo, unlike the sort of I'm used to thinking of servos as these rotational things, you know, that you use for dials or whatever, or for robot wheels, but in this case it's a linear servo, so it goes back and forth. He talks about how the Hall sensors and magnets work. Oh yeah, on the main board, again, there is an FTDI chip, so you can program this in Arduino using just a regular micro USB cable. Here's the FTDI chip right next to the infrared receiver. Yeah, so here's the infrared input, and you talk to it with this thing. I was just playing around with this, and I didn't find all of its features, but then I looked into the Arduino code, which you can find in a zip file at the end of the Hackster project. Oh, which I haven't linked yet, but I totally will. If you just search for MOMONGA on Hackster, I'm sure you'll find it. So the Arduino code is included in a zip file, and it shows that if you push the numbers on this remote, then you get a little bit of... Oh, come on, do the thing. Oh, I have to point it at the thing, of course, because it's infrared. It does... It does the Imperial March, and here's part 2. So he's actually marching around. So he's... That's so cool! They programmed a whole march, a whole dance to the Imperial March from Star Wars into this robot, which is just fantastic. And of course you can edit it to do whatever dance you want. That's so cool. There's other ones too. That kind of sounds like the alien noise from Close Encounters or whatever it is. What does it call it? Close Encounters. Cool. Ha! I win. Alien robots. Yay! Let's do that one more time in case you couldn't hear. What? The cool thing about this is that since you have 4 separate piezos, you could probably get harmony going. Which depends upon you having like separate addresses for each of the piezos. But since you have separate addresses for each of the motors, then you probably do. That'd be so cool. Like have 4-part harmony on a single robot. I have not seen that done yet. Yeah, so let's go again to the Hackster project and check out the rest of this. There's a really close-up look at it. The Mega is mounted on the bottom of this robot, and you'll notice that there's 2 little knobbles on this central control board on the 3D printed part. So if I flip this guy over, there's a knob over here that's sort of holding the little face on, and then there's a knob over here. And in the project on Hackster, they've got a little 3D printed tail that they've attached, actually, which is kind of cool. And then besides that, there's the whole bill of materials and everything. This is a super well done project. And you can find the 3D printed files already on Thingiverse with more of the info on here. So you can go and get started printing your own, buy the bill of materials, or just wait until it comes up on Crowd Supply and buy it for yourself. Really excited about this one. It's so cute, and like, you know, it has a couple kinks to work out with the resistor attachments for the motors and stuff. And I noticed also that one of the one of the additional ones had some tombstoning and a capacitor came off, but you know, I can fix that with a regular soldering iron. So it seems like something that you probably want to go for if you have a little bit of experience already. It's not like you're going to be your first 3D printing project or your first electronics project, but if you have a little bit of experience, then you can totally get excited about it and build your own little spider. I personally want to put together an analog of that little, you know, the little spider robot that like brings its little bonsai plant or succulent or whatever to find the sunshine. I want to do one of those with this. Yeah, super excited. You can check out the makers on their REFLO page on Facebook. It's under Magic Box Labs. Yeah, and I'll link the Hackster project underneath this video. I hope that you have enjoyed checking out MOMONGA as much as I have this morning, because this is a great way to start the week. Thanks and have an awesome rest of your Mailbag Monday. We will see you soon.